In this video, we're going to look at join properties between tables in a query. Now, the most popular type of join is something called an inner join. An inner join, it returns only records that have matching values in both tables. It's the most common type of join. Now, once again, it's returning only records that have matching values in both tables. Looking down here, we have two tables, an author table and also an author book table, one-to-many relationship, but this is an inner join, and we're only going to return values where there's a match in both tables. Second type of join is a left outer join or a plain left join. Now, a left join, it returns all the records from the table on the left side of the join, and only those records that have a matching value from the table on the right side of the join. So the left side is basically boss. It's going to return everything. When we're looking at that query, once again, it might be hard to see here. We have two tables, an author table, an author book table. We can see that the arrow is pointing over to the right here. But once again, what that means is that everything here on the left will be returned. And on the right table, it's only those records that match. Down here is a very good description of what's happening here. Specifically for record number 8 or ID number 8. We can see Ken Rogers, he's coming out on the left side, but on the right side there is no match. So once again, the left outer join, it returns all the records from the table on the left and only those records that have a matching value from the table on the right. And we can see in this case right here that there is not a matching value on the right. A right outer join. In a right outer join, it returns all the values from the table on the right side of the join, and only the records that have matching values from the table on the left. So on the right, everything will be returned. On the left, it's pointing over to the left, only those records where there is a match. But once again, on a right outer join, the information on the right side of the join is boss. Everything will come out. And then it's pointing over to the left. In terms of the area on the left, it's only those records where there is a match. Now let's look at some specific examples for our inner join, left join, and right join queries, all listed over here. But before we do that, let's quickly look at our tables. I'm going to begin, because we're going to be really, to show our joins, we're going to be looking at table 1 and table 2. Let's look at table 1. Open it up. What we have here are just 3 records. That's why we've named that the field name 1, 2, 3. So there's a record 1, 2, and a 3. When I look at table 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the reason why it's labeled that way is that we have a record 1, a 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's look at our inner join. Look at it in the design view. We have table 1, table 2. What we're going to be showing here is the information from table 1 for that field 1, 2, 3. And also the information in table 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only where they're equal. It's an inner join. So there's no arrows here. It's where they're both equal. So if we run it, and even in looking at the table beforehand, we can see that the only cases where they're equal is, once again, where 1 is equal to 1, 2 is equal to 2, 3 is equal to 3. So that's why we're getting this result right here. Makes sense. Again, where this field is equal to this field, then show this information. Next, let's look at the left join. Now with the left join, we can see we have a left join because the arrow is pointing over to the right. It's telling us show everything in table 1, the left side, and also for table 2, only where there's a match. We'll run it. The results are really the same as the first one, and that makes sense. Only where there's a match. 1 is equal to 1, 2 is equal to 2, 3 is equal to 3. So let's look at something a little bit different. Our right join. And for our right join, we're going to show, once again, it's pointing over to that. We're going to show everything in table 2. And in table 1, only those fields that match, or those records that match. Once again, this is really the gist of our descriptions for joins. The boss table, on the right, everything is listed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's looking over at the first table where 1, 2, 3. See, this is where they're both matching. However, there is no 4 or 5 in the table 1, 2, 3 in table 1. Let's look at that again. It's a right join, which means everything in table 2 is going to show up. And only those records that match in table 1 will show. It's a right join. This is a key point here. Right join, everything in table 2 is showing. But in table 1, only the records where there's a match. There's actually a null value here. Nothing is in there because there is no match. And really, that's the gist of a unmatched query, which we're going to run next. Right? Just to show you the results one last time. There's nothing in here. There's no match. So we're going to go in and into Create. Go into Query Wizard. We're going to find unmatched query. We're going to use the unmatched query wizard. We're going to select table 2 first. That has everything in it. That's our boss table. Want to compare it to table 1. It's where these two fields have to be equal. So we're going to click over here. Show this information. Finish. Run. And once again, like we're coming up with the unmatched, what's not in table 1 are the numbers 4 and 5. looking at the design. Basically, and it's a great representation of a left or right join. Like in this case, it's a left join. We're trying to show everything in table 2, and that's what happened. And then only those cases where they match. Now something has been added in here where it's showing where it's null. Well, let's get rid of that to see really what's happening. And it's very similar to what we ran a minute ago. Well, I want to make sure it's showing. Okay, so I'll put a check mark here to make sure that it is going to show. Okay. So once again, it's very, now we had looked at a right join, but right join, left join, the whole key is to find the table, the boss one, and then compare it to the unmatched. You can see where it's 0 here, it's null. If I go back in, change my criteria to is null, you can see our results clearer. So once again, that's the query table 2 without matching table 1. It's part of the query wizard. We can compare tables to find unmatched records. So I was comparing table 2 without matching table 1. And the way a lot of people would actually look at it would be saying, I'm going to create a left join, everything in table 2, then to show what's not matching here in table 1. It's on the other side of the arrow. And to find out what's not matching, it would be the null values. Let's look next at finding duplicates within a table. So we're going to open up a table called duplicates. Looking at the table, we have a group of numbers, a series of numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 5s, 6, 7, 8, 3 8s, 10, 10, 10. So, I mean, there are a number of duplicates. As we can see, we have duplicates for 5, 8, and 10. So if I wanted to find those duplicates, what you could do, we're going to close that out, create, go into query wizard, find duplicates. We want to find the duplicates in this table here, the duplicates table. Click next. Let's show this value here. Next. And what our table gives us back as a result are those duplicates. We've got the numbers 5, 8, and 10, which are all the duplicates. And we're actually getting a count of those numbers. Like there's 2 instances of 5, 3 instances of 8, 4 instances of 10, which we had seen about a minute or two ago when we looked at that table. When I look at my design view, what the query wizard has done, it's using the first function. It's counting the duplicates, counting them, only in the cases where it's more than one instance. And of course, we're grouping our numbers. Now, that's one way of doing that. Once again, using the wizard, and you would get a result like this, and it would be structured in this manner. It's using that first function. Let's close that out, and I'll show you another way of doing it. Create, query design, We're going to once again be looking at the duplicates table. I'm going to take numbers, and if I want to find unique numbers, the easiest way of doing that is by clicking on totals. So that's going to give us our unique numbers. Let's next go into numbers again, and let's count the instances of those numbers. Let's run it. So there's only 1, 1. There's only 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. Our duplicates are the ones greater than 1. Once again, we've grouped by the numbers. We're counting the numbers. If we want to find duplicates, it would be for the criteria. It would be greater than 1. And once again, this is another way of getting our duplicates. Probably the way I would usually use. So I would group the field, count the instances within the field, and if I'm looking for duplicates, it means that it's more than one occurrence. Thank you.